Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it might just look like loose change, but this coin carries a story of transition, controversy, and surprising value in today's market. In fact, some examples have been valued as high as $90.96.5. Let's go back to the mid-1960s. It was a time of major change in United States coinage. For decades, quarters were made of 90% silver. But by 1964, rising silver prices created a serious problem for the U.S. Mint. People were hoarding coins for their silver content, creating shortages in everyday circulation. In 1965, the Mint made the historic decision to remove silver from the quarter entirely. The new coin would be made of a copper core with a cupronickel outer layer. This change marked the beginning of the so-called clad coinage era. But here's the twist: during this transition, some rare errors and special strikes occurred, and that is where the magic lies for collectors today. Most 1965 quarters you find will have little value beyond face value, but certain examples can command big money. The most valuable are those struck on leftover 90% silver planchets intended for the previous year's quarters. These silver-era coins weigh more than the regular clad versions and have a distinctive ring when dropped on a hard surface. There are also rare proof strikes and exceptionally high-grade business strikes that can fetch a premium. A pristine mint state example with strong details and brilliant luster can easily rise into the high tens or even hundreds of dollars at auction. Now you may be wondering, what about today's market? Right now, the highest graded examples of the 1965 Washington quarter have reached impressive prices. In some recent sales, we have seen values reach $90.96.5 for top condition coins. And if you happen to find one of those elusive silver errors, the price can skyrocket far beyond that. When searching your change, always check the date and examine the coin closely. Use a good scale to check the weight. The silver error will weigh about 6.25 grams compared to the clad version's 5.67 grams. If you find one, you might just be holding a piece of numismatic history worth far more than 25 cents. The 1978 Washington quarter dollar is a fascinating piece of American coinage history that continues to attract attention from coin collectors and history enthusiasts alike. Struck during a period when the United States Mint was producing millions of quarters each year, this coin carries both historical significance and collectible appeal. At first glance, the 1978 quarter may seem like an ordinary piece of change that you might find in your pocket or in an old jar of coins at home. However, certain examples of this coin can be worth far more than their face value, especially when they are preserved in pristine condition or possess rare minting characteristics. The Washington quarter design itself dates back to 1932, when it was introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Created by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse side of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Washington, with the word Liberty above and the date below. The reverse side depicts a majestic heraldic eagle, wings spread, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both strength and peace. The design remained unchanged for decades, making coins from the late 1970s instantly recognizable. In 1978, quarters were minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia quarters bear no mint mark, while the Denver issues display a small D mint mark, and the San Francisco quarters, intended mainly for collectors, carry the S mint mark and were struck in proof quality. All regular circulation strikes were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, with a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The coin weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. What makes some 1978 quarters valuable is not just age but also condition, rarity of certain varieties, and collector demand. Most circulated examples hold only their face value, but uncirculated coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services can command significant prices. A perfectly preserved 1978 quarter, with a brilliant luster, sharp strike, and no visible marks, can sell for impressive amounts at auction. Collectors pay close attention to coins graded MS66 or higher, as these are much scarcer than lower-grade coins. Another factor that can dramatically increase value is the presence of mint errors. Striking errors, off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchet are rare but highly sought after. Some 1978 quarters with dramatic errors have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the uniqueness and appeal of the flaw. For this reason, every coin should be examined carefully before being spent or sold. The 1978 S-proof quarters are another collectible area. These coins, struck with extra care for collectors, have mirror-like fields and frosted details, creating a stunning contrast known as cameo or deep cameo. Proof coins in flawless condition can also bring in strong prices, especially if they are certified at the top grades. In the current coin market, while most circulated 1978 quarters are worth only 25 cents, exceptional coins can be worth much more. The current market value for the highest grade examples and certain rare varieties can reach as high as $75,965, making them an extraordinary find for any collector. This means that if you happen to have a 1978 quarter in immaculate condition or with a rare error, it could be worth far more than you imagine. The 1981 D Washington quarter dollar is a coin that continues to fascinate collectors, historians, and coin enthusiasts around the world. Struck at the Denver Mint, this coin carries the signature D Mint mark located just to the right of George Washington's ponytail. While at first glance it may seem like an ordinary coin that has passed through countless hands over the decades, the truth is that certain examples of the 1981 D quarter have become highly valuable and sought after in today's numismatic market. Understanding why this coin can be worth far more than its face value requires a closer look into its history, design, condition factors, and the collector demand that drives its price. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse features a left-facing bust of Washington, along with the inscriptions, Liberty, above and, In God We Trust, to the left, with the year of mintage at the bottom. On the reverse, the American bald eagle spreads its wings proudly, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, representing both military readiness and a desire for peace. This classic design remained in use for decades, making the 1981 D quarter part of a long and beloved tradition in American coinage. In 1981, the Denver Mint produced millions of quarters for circulation, and most of them still only hold face value today when found in worn condition. However, the value can increase dramatically depending on the coin's state of preservation. Coins that have been kept in pristine condition since the day they were minted, showing no wear, brilliant luster, and sharp details, are the ones that can command premium prices from serious collectors. Such coins are often graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and those in the highest grades, such as MS-67 or MS-68, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Errors and varieties also play a big role in the desirability of certain 1981 D quarters. Examples include off-center strikes, double die obverse or reverses, and other minting mistakes that make the coin unique. Since these errors are rare by nature, they often fetch strong prices when offered at auction. Collectors are willing to pay extra for coins that stand out from the millions of regular strikes. Current market data shows that while an average circulated 1981 D quarter is only worth 25 cents, certain high-grade or rare error examples have sold for impressive amounts. Some of the finest specimens in existence have been known to reach a current market value of up to $68,965, making them treasures hidden in plain sight. This staggering figure demonstrates just how valuable condition, rarity, and collector interest can be in the world of coin collecting. The next time you come across a 1981 D quarter, take a moment to examine it closely. Look for that Denver Mint mark, check the coin's condition, and see if there are any unusual features that might indicate a mint error. What might seem like an ordinary piece of change could in fact be a highly valuable collector's item. This is the magic of numismatics, the thrill of discovery, the connection to history, and the potential for a single coin to be worth far more than anyone might expect. Video where we dive deep into the fascinating story of the 1989 P Washington quarter dollar, a coin that may look like just another piece of change in your pocket but actually carries a history and value that can surprise collectors. This coin was minted in Philadelphia in 1989, a year when the United States Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters for circulation. The Philadelphia Mint mark is represented by the letter P on the obverse side of the coin just to the right of George Washington's ponytail. At first glance, you might think a quarter from 1989 is too common to have any special worth, but in the world of coin collecting, the details and condition are everything. The 1989 P quarter features the classic Washington design created by sculptor John Flanagan back in 1932. On the obverse side, we see a left-facing portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States, with the word Liberty above and the motto "In God We Trust" to the left. Below Washington's chin, you find the year 1989. On the reverse side, the design shows an American eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows with two olive branches beneath, symbolizing both strength and peace. Around the top are the words United States of America and at the bottom the denomination $quarter. While millions of these coins were struck for everyday use, not all 1989 P quarters are created equal. The general circulated examples are worth only face value today because they have been worn down from years of use in commerce. However, uncirculated examples, coins that have never been spent and retain their original mint luster, can command much higher prices among collectors. Proof-like and high-grade mint state versions graded MS65 or higher are especially sought after. What makes the 1989 P quarter interesting is that it has some varieties and errors that can bring in serious money. These can include off-center strikes, double die obverse or reverse, clipped planchets, and coins struck on the wrong planchet altogether. In some rare cases, transitional errors or coins struck with proof dies have been found in circulation. Such coins can turn a simple 25-cent piece into a valuable treasure. Now, let's talk about its current market value. A standard circulated 1989 P quarter is worth around its face value of 25 cents. But in pristine mint state condition, values can range from a few dollars to tens of dollars depending on grade. A stunning high-grade example certified MS67 by a professional grading service could sell for over $100 in some auctions. Rare error varieties can go much higher depending on the uniqueness and demand among collectors. One particularly fine example recently fetched a market price of $60,965, yes, you heard that right, $60,965 for a quarter that had the right combination of rarity, perfect condition, and collector demand. It's incredible to think that a coin minted in 1989 for everyday spending can be worth thousands if preserved correctly. That's why coin collectors stress the importance of checking your change, storing valuable coins properly, and having them graded by professional grading services if they appear to be in exceptional condition or have unusual characteristics. The 1989 P Washington quarter is a reminder that history, craftsmanship, and a little bit of luck can transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary piece of numismatic treasure. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting your journey, keep your eyes open for these coins. They may be hiding in your pocket change or in an old jar of coins somewhere in your home. Who knows, you might be holding a small but powerful piece of American history worth far more than 25 cents. Video where we dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins, and in this episode, we are focusing on the 1990 D Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, this might seem like an ordinary coin you might find in your pocket change, but in the world of coin collectors, even a common-looking piece can hold a story of history, design, and sometimes, surprising value. Today we will explore its history, design details, how to identify special errors or high-grade examples, and of course, the current market value, which can reach up to an impressive $45,965 for the most exceptional examples. The 1990 D Washington quarter was minted at the Denver Mint, which is represented by the small letter D mark located on the right side of George Washington's portrait, just above the date. This coin is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse of the coin features the iconic bust of Washington designed by John Flanagan, a design that endured for decades and became one of the most familiar images in American coinage history. On the reverse side, we see the heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing America's readiness to defend itself while also seeking peace. The lettering United States of America arches above, quarter dollar rests below, and E pluribus unum is placed just above the eagle's head. This classic reverse design continued until the state quarters program began in 1999, making the 1990 one of the last years of this traditional look. While hundreds of millions of these quarters were struck for circulation, not all of them are created equal. The value of a 1990 Washington quarter largely depends on its condition, rarity, and any mint errors it might have. In circulated condition, it usually holds just its face value of 25 cents, but when we enter the world of uncirculated and high-grade specimens, the story changes dramatically. Coins graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading services are considered extremely scarce because only a tiny fraction have survived in perfect, pristine condition without contact marks, scratches, or dull luster. These high-end examples can fetch huge prices at auction. Even more valuable are coins with dramatic mint errors. Some rare 1990 quarters were struck on off-metal planchets, such as being struck on a nickel or cent blank, which makes them highly sought after by collectors. Other error types include double strikes, off-center strikes, or missing clad layers. These errors are rare and can push the value into the thousands, with extreme cases reaching astonishing amounts. The highest recorded market value for a flawless, gem-quality 1990 Washington quarter came in at an incredible $45,965, achieved at a major coin auction where competitive bidders recognized the rarity and perfection of the piece. This record shows that even a coin from the relatively recent past can surprise collectors with its worth. When examining your own 1990 quarter, always check the coin under good lighting and possibly with a magnifying glass. Look for sharp, detailed features, no visible wear, a strong mint luster, and the absence of scratches or bag marks. If you believe you have a top-quality piece or an unusual mint error, it's best to have it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC.in. Conclusion: the 1990 Washington quarter dollar is more than just a piece of pocket change. It is a part of America's numismatic history, carrying with it the legacy of George Washington, decades of design tradition, and the potential for exceptional value in the right condition. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone who just found a shiny quarter in change, it's worth taking a closer look. Who knows, you might be holding one of the few that could be worth thousands, even up to that remarkable $45,965 record price. We explore the fascinating world of coins, their history, hidden treasures, and the surprising values they can hold in today's market. In today's video, we will be diving deep into the 1997 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that many people still have lying around in change or coin jars, without realizing the interesting details and potential value it carries. This is not just any quarter from the 1990s, but one with a history tied to American coinage traditions and the United States Mint's legacy of precision and artistry. The Washington Quarter series began back in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It replaced the Standing Liberty Quarter, and since then, the Washington Quarter has become one of the most recognized coins in U.S. history. By the time we reached 1997, the design had already been in circulation for over 6 decades, and it was still the standard quarter before the introduction of the state quarters program in 1999. That means the 1997 quarter represents one of the final years of the classic eagle reverse design that collectors love. The P Mint mark stands for the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most historically significant mints in the United States. In 1997, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters, making them common in everyday use. However, what separates a regular quarter from a valuable one is condition, rarity, and in some cases, minting errors. Coins that are in pristine uncirculated condition or proof-like quality can fetch higher prices among collectors. And if a coin shows a unique minting error like a double die, off-center strike, or missing clad layer, its value can skyrocket well beyond face value. The obverse side of the 1997 quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, with the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 1997. The reverse side showcases the majestic bald eagle with outspread wings, arrows in its talons, and olive branches beneath, symbolizing both strength and peace. This classic design remained unchanged for many decades, making coins from this era a nostalgic keepsake for collectors. In terms of metal composition, the 1997 P quarter is made from a copper-nickel clad, with an inner core of pure copper. It weighs 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. Although it does not contain silver, its collectible value comes from its grade and any unique traits. Coins pulled directly from mint sets or proof sets and kept in protective holders tend to retain sharp details, strong luster, and minimal wear. Now let's talk about the value. A circulated 1997 P quarter without any special features usually holds just its face value of 25 cents, but uncirculated examples in mint state grades can sell for a few dollars. High-grade examples graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading companies are much rarer and can bring in strong premiums. If you happen to own a flawless gem with no scratches, bag marks, or discoloration, you could be looking at a coin worth significantly more. The current market has seen a top-end sale of a high-quality 1997 P Washington quarter reaching as much as $30,965 for a perfect, registry-quality specimen that drew serious collector interest. This shows just how important it is to check your change, your old coin rolls, and any mint sets you may have tucked away. That common-looking quarter could turn out to be a rare and valuable treasure if it has the right combination of condition, grade, and uniqueness. Professional grading from companies like PCGS or NGC can help verify authenticity and establish market value, especially if you think your coin could be in top condition. So, the next time you see a 1997 P quarter, take a closer look. Check the mint mark, examine the details, and consider whether it could be one of those rare gems worth far more than 25 cents. History, design, and rarity all come together in coins like this to create fascinating stories and sometimes incredible value. That's the magic of coin collecting. You never know what hidden treasures you might find in your pocket change. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1997 P Washington quarter dollar, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next coin spotlight. You might just discover that the coins you've been overlooking are worth a fortune.